It's Sunday. Whoop, 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 whoop.
Sunday Live. Good to see you guys. How you doing?
Obviously,
Where are we?
you may know where we are, unless this is our secret backdrop.
It could be.
Maybe we had this imposed
Yeah.
on a
Maybe it's not real.
sign.
Maybe it's like cardboard.
All fake. You know when some people have the fake backgrounds and they're moving and you can see splotches of the real background?
Yeah,
Maybe that's what it is.
that could be.
Hello, everybody.
Yep.
How is everybody? We're good.
We're good.
It's kind of a rainy day today.
Rainy. We did see the sun pop out.
Real briefly.
Last night it rained all night, and this morning it was raining. And we got up early and went to church. We took the early service so we would have some time to get things done in between coming back from service and now. So, yeah, it was pretty windy and pretty rainy, but warm.
For 2 days, actually, because when we were driving here, it was pretty rainy.
It was pretty brutal. There was a big thunderstorm pushing across like this all the way across Alabama. And yeah,
the funny thing is when we headed down to Florida in the first place, it was the same thing. There was this huge diagonal storm. So we got it on the in and the out.
And it doesn't like just blow right across because it's going at an angle and it's going up. So you're getting all of this. It just keeps coming and coming and coming and coming and coming.
Yep. I know everybody, even in the northern states, is getting a nice drenching. So I guess that's our showers going into the new year, right?
So we've already seen a couple of neighbors. My neighbor came over and was asking, actually he knocked on because I had my head underneath the slide out of the RV and I was working with the RV, and he goes, well, I didn't want to walk up and scare you and you hit your head. So he kind of like said,
well,
hey,
that was nice.
Yeah. So he was asking actually about the channel. What was our channel name? He couldn't remember. So I told him, but that was interesting because we had a nice conversation last time we were home, and we were talking about the trees, what I can cut, what I can't cut.
It's nice to have good neighbors.
Oh, they're
it's
great
such
neighbors.
A blessing, that is for sure. And after you've had any bad neighbors, if anybody's ever had bad neighbors, you really learn to appreciate the good ones.
Mm-hmm.
So it's definitely a blessing to be where we're at now. Absolutely love our neighbors. And we love that you guys are here with us today, taking the time out to spend with us. We love our moderators. Thank you all for joining us today.
Yeah.
So super nice. I know I'm feeling a little tired, like I need a nap because it's been like almost like moving day. Whenever you take the RV out and you come back, you got to shuffle all your stuff back in. You're doing the laundry.
And we had left some stuff in the RV before. So it was really hard, though, to remember what's in the RV and what's here and what needs to go over and what's already there. So this time when we decamped, we pulled everything back to the house and resorted. And then when we go back to another trip, then it'll be easier, I think, because we won't have to remember what's already out there.
Yeah, and then we don't even have to bring that much if we're not going to be gone that long. Because I think for the next probably month and a half, if we do trips, they're going to be short trips because of doctor's appointments. Yeah. We can't go for extended periods of time, but we still want to go places.
Yeah, we're still going to do some stuff, but with the cooler weather, it kind of limits you.
It really does limit you. And the weather's been bipolar everywhere. Even places that you didn't think would be too cold have been cold for the place. Like when we were in Florida, it was colder than normal. I would have liked it to be.
It's colder than normal.
I mean, it's hard to go do beachy activities when it's cold out. But I mean, I should be used to that being from Fort Lauderdale, Hollywood area. But
so we were down there in the Pensacola area, the Eglin Air Force Base, Destin, Fort Walton Beach area. And we were there about a week. And then we decided to curtail our trip, make it shorter instead of the 2-week trip because of the weather. Mostly it was colder than normal. It was windy and on and off rain. And a lot of what they had to do down there, when you're looking at the brochures, it's all water related. So parasailing, fishing, I mean, all that stuff. Nobody's doing that stuff right now.
I think Brett was really just homesick, y'all.
I was like, man.
Whenever Brett's away from the house about a weekend, he's like, starts talking about wanting to go back.
Because there's a lot of things here that I can do. When you're in a campground, there's, unless you're out on an adventure, there's really not a whole lot. Like there's things I want to get done here. And even as we've only been here a day, we've ran into some things we need to get done. So we have some DIY projects coming up for sure.
And to be fair, Brett doesn't like the beach as much as here. Yeah. I mean, I like the beach because I grew up near the beach. So I love the beach. I also love the mountains, but I think I can have more fun at the beach than Brett can.
Yeah, I'm like 2 hours at the beach and I'm done for the year. Like the beach to me is not a big exciting thing. I'd rather be in the mountains, honestly. When we started coming up Alabama, I'm like, hey, it's starting to get hilly. I like it. I like the mountains.
Yeah, so it was an interesting ride back with all the rain. We did make a pit stop. Mm-hmm. You want to talk about that?
Well, if you'd so like. We did go by on recommendation from Deanna, actually. We looked it up, and I had heard about it but didn't know much about it. So when she mentioned it, I'm like, well, maybe we need to look into this. It's the USS Alabama and the USS Drum and the Aviation Museum down in Mobile, Alabama. So not being that far away, I think it was a couple-hour drive, maybe just a little under that. The weather, again, was going to be on and off rain, but most of that tour is inside. There is some outside stuff.
Still quite wet.
But most of it was inside. So the USS Alabama, if you don't know, is a retired battleship. Mostly during World War II. And then you have the USS Drum, which is a submarine. It's right there next to it. So you get to actually walk through the submarine and walk through the battleship. The battleship. Thank you.
It was really cool.
It was neat. We were there. They say to allow 90 minutes to go through the tour.
I don't know how you could go through that in 90 minutes.
There's no way.
It was so much fun. And if it would have been better weather, we would have been there even longer.
We would have been longer. And I think we were there all day.
Yeah.
I don't think we left there until about 3 or 4 o'clock.
Because when I go to something like that, I really like to immerse myself in the setting and really imagine what it would have been like in the submarine, what it would have been like in the battleship, and just, sit down and become one with my surroundings and, also talk to the other people that are on the tour and have a fun time with it.
And so you'll see the videos for those this upcoming week and probably into the next week because there's so much material.
I can't believe how ginormous that battleship was.
Is huge.
I haven't been on one of those since I was a Girl Scout. I remember back in the day, the Port Everglades near where I lived before 9/11, you could easily go into the port, and they used to have certain days where the troops would come, and so the whole Girl Scout troop, lots of troops would go out there and we'd go on the battleship and the submarines and all that. And it was a lot of fun. So it's been a long time and they're still just as big. I know when you're a kid, it seems like everything's ginormous, but even as an adult, those are ginormous.
And you can go up the tower about halfway and then it just kind of stops. But it's raining anyway. Yeah, that's all outside stuff.
I think they would have had more of the battleship, 1 or 2 more layers open if it hadn't been rain. It was lightning and everything.
Yeah, lightning, yeah. And windy.
Yeah, very windy.
But you'll see in the video how windy it was.
I had dreadlocks by the end of the day. My hair was so bad.
Yeah, the flags are going sideways, so it was windy.
But all in all, it was a lot of fun. I definitely would go back there.
Yeah, and even with the inclement weather, there was quite a few people there. That parking lot was full.
There really was. It was a blast.
And so the fees to view that were pretty good, actually. So it was $30 for parking an RV. If it's a car, a four-wheel vehicle, then it's $4.
$5.
$5, but then you got to pay for each person. With the $30 RV parking, and you can be pulling anything you want, then you get one person in free. So we did her entry fee, and then I got an over 55 discount. First time I've ever used a discount for my age. You got that
old discount. Yeah. Well, you could have used military too and gotten the same discount, but he wanted to announce that he's old. So
I'm
he
old.
said, "Hey, I'm old. Let me in for cheap."
It's discounted. So we paid $45 for that, and we spent about 4 hours there, 5 hours there. It was a pretty long time.
Yeah, it was a load of fun.
Yeah.
I had a blast.
Yep.
And I definitely would go back again. So worth it if you're in the area, or if you just want to make a trip to go there, definitely worth it. And the little kids that were there were just having so much fun. There was one family that had several little ones, and they were a riot. It was so much fun watching them and just seeing their excitement and the funny things they say.
Yeah. And a lot of people were asking us, "Hey, can you take our picture? Can you take our picture?" It's like, sure.
That usually happens when we go somewhere because they see him walking around with the selfie stick and everything. So they'll just start asking him. And I'm like, sure, he's the cameraman. Why not? But it's a blast. You get to meet a lot of people as well as learn so many things.
Yeah.
And I just got to give kudos, thanks to all our service men and women for what they do for us. Just being on those ships, I could imagine it is not easy.
Yeah, you'll hear us talking in the video about, do you think you could work on this submarine? Because we went to the submarine first.
It's really tight.
Because
really tight.
It had the rain had kind of slacked off early. So we decided to hit the submarine first. Well, no, it was raining hard, right? It was raining harder early, I think. Yeah. So we decided to go to the submarine first because all of that is pretty much inside. And then we went to the battleship. Of course, when you walk around on the top floor of the battleship, it's all open, exposed, but then the lower layers are all covered. But so that's kind of how we planned which one's first. So we went to the submarine first, and those are some really tight quarters. Tight quarters.
Very.
And so
that's got to be rough. As well as, like, there's no windows to look out. I mean, you can go up and out, but at least the battleship, you have a lot of space.
Yeah.
And you have a lot of levels and open air space. So I imagine it would be a little bit better on the battleship than the submarine.
Yeah, you had more space. So if you get that claustrophobia, like stale air feel, because you got 40 or 50 guys with the third day underwater, stink going on, and you kind of want to get out there and get some fresh air. That's a nice way to say it.
I think you stay in shape on that battleship with all those stairs.
Yeah, there's a lot of up and down.
A lot of up and down.
And almost every room you have to step over. Like, they're not normal doors. You have to step up and over.
Yeah.
Because if something happens to some part of the battleship, they can seal it closed. And then the rest of the battleship is still, functioning.
But it was really interesting to see all the different parts. They did a super good job with cutouts, and you'll see in the video, they did a really good job representing what it's like.
And they have a path that you can follow. There's yellow, green, and red paths.
Of course, we didn't follow any kind of path. We went all out of order.
We didn't realize that there were color-coded numbers and all that. And so
we weren't the only ones. So almost everybody was doing that.
We were. And I think part of that is because the people, when they receive you in, they don't tell you that.
Yeah, not really.
And they really should say, hey, by the way.
And we didn't even get a map. Usually we didn't take the map. So we were just completely rogue. Just going in all different directions.
But we did backtrack, and I think we got through all the numbers pretty good. But there's some turrets. Some of those outside turrets that have the huge guns on them, you're able to go up in them. That's pretty neat. You can sit there in the seat and kind of, pretend you're shooting stuff. That's pretty neat. But just to kind of get a feel of how big it is and how much room you have. Some of those turrets have 4 people in there or 6 people working in there in very close proximity, and it's got to be loud when those things go off.
Yeah.
I would imagine. I mean, I was Army. I wasn't Navy, so I don't know. So I'm in there, kind of, using common sense and just questioning, and you'll see some of that. So when you guys go and see that video, feel free, if you have people that were in the Navy and you're stationed on these ships, battleships in particular, and you have firsthand, secondhand knowledge of that stuff, we'd love to read it, because we're always learning on these adventures. It ain't just for us. We like to share them with you guys, and then you guys give us information that I don't know everything. I don't. And so when it comes to aircraft and for the Air Force and ships for the Navy, I don't know a whole lot about that. So I find it interesting. I just didn't want to be on one. I like the ground. So,
but yeah, that was a lot of fun. And then we also stayed at a Cracker Barrel on the way home.
Yeah, so we hit that. It was about 2 hours from the campground where we broke camp in the morning, and then we went north for a couple hours into Greenville, and we stayed at a Cracker Barrel and had dinner. And Cracker Barrels, they let you camp, they let you boondock. Because we had just hooked up and because we were planning to camp at our next site, then we had plenty of battery voltage and we had taken showers, so we really didn't need any services. And with the weather being so nasty, you just wanted to hit it, park, eat, come back, and then go to bed.
Oh, I see people in the chat are saying that President Carter passed away.
Oh, I didn't even know that.
I did not know that either.
Yeah.
Well, it's good. He'll be with the Lord now.
He's in a better place if he did right.
Yep. Be with the Lord.
I also want to give kudos to the Eglin Fam Camp ladies who worked out there. They were great. We had questions for them on and off, and we changed locations, campsites a couple times, and they were great working with us, and we appreciate that. So I just wanted to give a kudos. I don't know that they're watching, but if they are,
it was a good experience. It's always nice once again to meet other people and talking to spouses and their experiences.
Yeah, one of them is stationed there with her husband, and so we like to ask her, "How do you like it here?" You know.
And then she was talking about different places she's been. So I love talking to people about that and getting to hear about different places and their experiences. I think that's another important fun thing to do. You were talking to one of the ladies in one of the thrift stores. Her husband was stationed there too. So it's always nice. But I did love that campground. Like, what an amazing view. You have the water all around you. I'm sure it's a lot more crowded when it's warmer out. We were lucky enough to only have 5 or 6 people in that little area when we were there. But you also did see that probably when it's warmer, there were signs when you first came into the campground warning you about gators and being careful about swimming in there with the gators. And when we were walking around, we saw all kinds of trails that the gators make. So I could imagine how, I know I walked to the bathhouse one night and it's completely black. There was like no lights out there. And there's a big dumpster and I could hear some animal in the bushes near the dumpster. And I was just like, ended up running to the bathroom. And then you're like the only one in there. So you start thinking about all these horror films and you're in this campground and I'm like hurrying up, trying to finish the shower. And then I'm running back to the camper afterwards, looking around behind me. Start thinking that Jason's in the bushes somewhere coming to get you.
There's actually at least what we know, there's 4 military campgrounds in that Destin area.
Yeah.
So we had 2 of them featured in a video Friday, and we'll have 2 more featured in a video for tomorrow.
Yeah.
It'll be a shorter video.
I didn't know there were so many in that area.
There's 4 of them.
Pretty beautiful.
The Eglin Fam Camp has 2. So you had Pistol Point, and then you had the regular one.
Postal Point.
Postal Point, I'm sorry.
He's changing the name.
Postal Point is the more remote one.
The one with the great view.
Right. And then the other one had about 60 campsites, and Postal Point had about 20. So you got 80 sites right there. Then if you go over to Destin, we ran across a resort. It's actually a resort. It's an Army resort campground. So it's managed out of what I call Fort Benning. It's now Fort Moore. So they manage that one. Now, we didn't stay at that one, but we did visit it. And we walked around and we got some video. And it's actually a very nice campground. It's right on the water. They rent boats. They have prestigious little lodges you can stay in, or they have a campground. So it's multifaceted. And Very nice. I definitely see that on a list to visit in the future. And
Absolutely. I'd love to go there with a family and friends and rent one of those cottages.
And then a little west of that, as you go back toward West Palm, was not West Palm Beach. Why am I saying that?
Because we met a lady in church today who
from
is
West
from
Palm
West
Beach.
Palm Beach.
As you go back to the west of Destin and you go across the bridge there, there's Hurlburt. That's hard to say. Hurlburt Campground. Now that one's not. It is on the base, but it's not through the gate, so you can get to it without going through the gate. And that one's full. People like that one, I guess. That one was full. There was not a single spot, and they had people in waiting in overflow.
They even had a primitive tent camping site, which looked like some people were living in their tent. Like they had a lot of stuff in the area for the primitive tent camping.
One's nice because it's close to the beaches. In fact, you could walk to the beaches from there, or you could easily bike over to the beaches from there. Where the other ones might be a little bit of a drive, like, maybe 20 minutes or something. But yeah, all four of those are within a 20-minute drive. So all of them are pretty close together, just in different areas.
I wouldn't mind going back there in the spring and checking out the water parks and doing some fun stuff, because it's sort of like Key West, but without all the goings on, like not as much traffic and all that, but you still have that beach town feel with all the fun activities. So I'd love to go back there when it's a little warmer and have some fun.
In coming back, we had not necessarily intended to come back to the house.
Yeah, I didn't think we were coming back here at all, but you never know.
Yeah, we left.
Brett is spontaneous.
We left the Cracker Barrel and we went north, and we wanted to go to Redstone Arsenal, and we wanted to check out those campgrounds. Those are nice too. In fact, they have more vacancy there, and I think they have more sites.
They have a ton more sites.
They have 77 sites at one campground. They just recently expanded it in the last year or so. Then they have another 20. And then they have a second campground, which we didn't even go see because it's like 4 or 5 miles away from the main base. But we definitely going to be going back there because Redstone Arsenal is only about an hour and 15, 20 minutes from here.
And don't they have that space camp over there?
They do.
I want to go there.
They have some stuff there to go see for sure. And they had some great bicycle trails, paved bike trails on Redstone. So we definitely want to go back. That was a hard place to get stationed when I was active duty. In fact, one of the gentlemen, we used their dump station there as we visited the commissary because they had some great after Christmas chocolates on sale.
Just what we needed, right?
Yeah, so it was all half price, and then they had coupons, so it was really cheap.
Oh my goodness.
So
I like to go in the commissary and get some of the treats from other countries.
Yeah.
Because there's these delicious cookies from Germany that I love. And I can't believe they had these huge cookie assortments that were marked down, but the regular price of them was about $160. It's like a big assortment, but that's crazy. So they were half priced at, I want to say it was about $80. And I think they're going to be marking them down a bunch more because somebody ordered a lot of them.
Yeah, they got
but I can't imagine paying that much money for
cookies.
I mean, it's a lot of cookies. And I guess if it reminds you of home, then you're going to want it, especially at the discount, but it's still too much for me.
When you open the box, though, each of the different types of cookies were all in separate decorative holiday tins.
Yeah, I mean, it was a really super nice assortment.
It was a really bougie.
I'd love to stick around and see when it's like 25% or something, or 75% off.
They also had a yard of
the Twix.
Yeah, the Twix was 3 feet long. How much was that thing? $18 or something?
Yeah, the original price, but they were half off. They also had this huge long thing of a cookie assortment marked down.
Cookies, yeah.
They had this humongous.
That was marked down to $8.
2-pound Kit Kat. So I had to take a picture of it and send it to George.
Yeah.
Because I know she loves Kit Kats. So
yeah, so that was hilarious.
I was like, this Kit Kat is huge.
But if you haven't been like in the commissaries, they they cater a good couple of aisles to international foods.
Yes, I love going there
Yeah.
anyway. All throughout the aisles, you can find some neat stuff.
Stuff you can't find in a regular store.
Yeah. So, and I like a lot of German stuff. You can get some of the stuff at Aldi, the German stuff.
Yeah, some of it, yeah.
Reminds me of my Oma.
So we stopped off there. We did our dump because we decided at that point we're not going to camp there because the weather was still kind of ugly. So we decided, you know what, let's just go on home, get the camper decamped, and then we got stuff here we can take care of. We had mail to collect and do that, and then take care of some domestic duties here. And we still got more to do tomorrow, and then we can go to church. So we were missing that. So we decided to bring it on home and not camp over. But we did get some information, and we did hit those, areas we needed to hit: the campground, the dump station, and then we talked to a gentleman there for a few minutes, and he was giving me kind of the highlight of the campground, and really nice place. I definitely see going back. So what are we going to do now that we're here?
Yeah.
Well,
What's happening?
I have some
Hot
physical
stuff.
therapy referrals again for my shoulder. I'm going to talk to a specialist in that area.
Yeah, orthopedic
There you go.
specialist. So hopefully now with the holidays going to be ending, everything can get back to normal in full swing. It's hard to get doctor's appointments during these times.
And we can get back into the gym because
we definitely need to, especially after buying, what did we buy? Reese's. They had the Reese's Christmas trees and some Reese's caramel.
Well, Christmas in the Creek wasn't kind to our diet either.
Well,
so there's that. But that's our fault. That's nobody else's fault.
Well,
of
course.
It's our fault. But
we were way overindulging. Yeah. So now it's about time to get back in full swing. And I want to hit it hard because I have goals. And that's another huge thing with New Year. I've always been one to set some short-term goals, some long-term goals. And I think over this past year, maybe 2 years even, I haven't taken the time out to do that because so much was going on. But this year, I really want to focus on me and getting more healthy and getting more in shape. So I'm going to really get my mindset in order and really dig deep and get that done, because that's what it really is about. You got to get your head in the game, and because you're your own worst enemy. You really are. The things you tell yourself and the situations you get in your head just can be disastrous sometimes if you allow it to be. So you got to have your head in the game. You got to have the focus right. So I really want to take the time to do that, as well as, you want to look over your financial goals for the year. And it's good to have things to look forward to and little things to check off. And you don't want to make your goals of what you want to do so huge that you can never reach them. So you got to have little mini goals and then a few really good ones.
Some of you guys have New Year's Eve goals that you'd like to do in 2025. Throw them in the chat there and we'll check them out. And if we don't check them out here, we'll check them out later.
And I know I was talking to Brett about, maybe he should find a hobby to find something to do, because, now that he's retired, he doesn't have the campground as an outlet to fix stuff and do stuff. Even though he does projects around here, I think he'd really benefit out of getting in some kind of fun hobby outside of projects. So hopefully he can think about that and figure something out, because you got to have something to do, keep your mind engaged, stay busy. So if you're just sitting around doing nothing, that it's not very fun.
Yeah, it doesn't lend itself well. Yeah.
So hopefully he can figure something out with that.
Now we also need to get, we still have the 2 more windows that need to be
that's another thing.
Upstairs.
They did call us, of course, when we were in Florida, that they wanted to come was it the day before Christmas?
Yeah.
They wanted to come because originally they came the day before Thanksgiving to do the other ones. And if we would have been in town, that would have been great. However, we were not around. So I don't know. We still got to get that scheduled.
Those 2 more windows shouldn't take them more than a couple hours to do.
Oh, no, because the other 8 windows took them only 3 hours. So that should be a real quick job.
Yeah.
I think the worst part of it will be that they have to put scaffolding or something on the outside to get up to the second level.
So one of the DIY projects, I actually started working on it today just to kind of see what I was going to need as far as materials and if it was going to work. We ended up bringing back with us 2 kayaks that my stepmom had given to us. So we brought those back, and we want to get them so we can trolley them on some, you pull the cable through the pulleys and you can lift them up to the top of your garage. Well, we want to do that right over the pontoon boat because we think those kayaks will be most fun on this lake. So we want to be able to lower the kayaks right into the pontoon boat in the garage. Then you can hook up to the boat and take it all to the lake, and you'll have the kayaks, the pontoon, all right there.
Yeah, because they are heavy. So
we started doing that, and we realized there's a couple things more that we need.
More for the list.
So we wanted to start the project
Never-ending
so we could see if we had everything we needed. We don't. There's some more things we need to get. One of the kayaks is significantly heavier than the other one.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's an ocean fishing kayak. It's a really nice one, but it's an older model. So there's some things on it that are broken, like the strap is broken and stuff, but they can be fixed. So we're going to look at doing that.
Oh yeah, Tommy, keep us posted on that. Said he has several tendons that are torn in his rotator cuff. So
that's what I have.
Keep us posted on that.
Yeah, that's what I have right over here in this left shoulder.
I mean, it's always good to try to avoid surgery, but sometimes it's unavoidable. I know Brett's hoping to avoid it for sure. So definitely keep us posted on that. Another
problem we've realized with the camper, a few things. We have a list of things we want to get for the camper. I guess I'll start with those. We've realized that the TV reception, now we don't have Wi-Fi. We don't subscribe to a Wi-Fi service to be able to run our TV from anywhere. We just don't think I think they're expensive. They're like $100 a month, and it's not worth it to me. So we use off-air antenna, whatever the antenna on the RV can pick up. Usually you get between 16 and 30 channels, so that's enough. But we had a hard time picking up channels consistently throughout the day and sometimes into the evening. Sometimes you'd get it better during the day. Sometimes it was worse during the day. It didn't seem to have a real rhyme or reason. But you would pick the channel up, but it would start to checker. Like it'd start to go out and then it would go out completely and then come back. I think if we had a little bit of an antenna booster, then all of those channels would have came. It's like you're barely getting them, so they won't hold on. But if a storm comes through or whatever the reason, you lose those channels. And
how much is Starlink?
Starlink is what a lot of campground campers use, but I think it's pricey. It's like $100 a month, and if you're paying $100 a month,
plus don't you have to buy?
You have to buy the equipment and the service, and I think 100 is. Yeah, we could do it, but
it's more than we need.
It's more than we need.
I mean, we end up being so busy running around doing stuff.
We're not there to watch TV.
So I don't think it's something we need.
It's not something we need. So when we need to get on the computer, we just hotspot one of our phones and get on the computer and do what we got to do and then get off, turn off the hotspot. So
Debbie says it was $120 a month here at the house.
Yeah, see, that to me is too much for TV. To me, TV is not worth that much money. It's like my cousin always rags me about, why don't you just subscribe to ESPN and get YouTube TV and get ESPN, you get all your channels, because sometimes there's games on I'd like to watch, but I'm not subscribed to the channel it's on, and so I choose just not to watch it or listen to it on the radio.
Before I was married, I didn't even watch TV because I was way too busy. I didn't have time. I actually just used my TV at night to go to sleep.
Right. So we're not big TV watchers. It's just now and then, maybe after dinner, a couple hours before you go to sleep. Maybe you just want to put your feet up and watch a show. We don't really care what the show is. It's this show or that show, whatever. But we're not big TV watchers, so I'm not willing to invest any money in that. I'm just not. Even here at the house, I point over my shoulder because the TV's right behind me. But even here at the house, we don't subscribe to anything. We use the free Vizio TV that you get a whole bunch of channels on. There's probably 500 or plus channels on there. You're not going to watch all those channels. There's probably a good 10 channels on there that you'll watch routinely, and they're free. We already have internet. So if you have internet service here, which we do, and it's affordable, it's $59 a month.
And I watch something on YouTube.
We get everything on the TV that on a smart TV can get on the internet. That's good, fast service for $59 a month. To me, that's worth it. But to spend $120 for some camping TV, where you should be out there doing stuff anyway, that to me is not worth it. So if I miss a couple games because they're on ESPN, then so be it. I'm just not willing to give ESPN my money, to be honest.
So you're going to get an antenna?
So I'm looking for a little booster antenna. So some of these channels we do pick up that they'll come in more clear because there's no booster on the camper at all. I don't really know how it's receiving a signal because there's no antenna unless it's built into the thing somehow.
It's because I wear my aluminum foil hat.
So for about 10 or 20 bucks, you can get a nice little booster. What I'm reading is that they can go 100 miles. Well, I don't even need that much. You're always within 50 miles of some town that has a TV broadcast. So I think a little $10 booster antenna is all we need for the camper. So that's on our list. The water filter, it holds a lot of water. And it doesn't have the bypass valve on the top that most of them have, like for a house. I can't believe
they did not put that on
there. I can't believe that either.
That's ridiculous.
So you either have to put in a bypass kit, which is hoses and a couple valves, or you can just get, because the Tiffen has the whole house filter that you put the wrench on it and you pull the canister down, pull the filter out. It's the same as a house. They're all standard size. But it doesn't have the bypass valve on the top. Some of them have them, some don't. I'd like to get one with a bypass valve. So when you go to winterize, you're not filling this whole filter up with antifreeze. You don't need to.
That's a waste. And it looks like we're going to be winterizing again because it's supposed to be getting cold again.
My neighbor says, Nashville's supposed to get some snow. I'm like, what? Snow? Yeah. He goes, going to get bitter cold next week. I'm like, oh boy, I better winterize the RV then. He goes, oh, your garage is not heated? I said, no. Is it insulated? No.
I might want to find that Carhartt suit that I never sold on eBay last year. I still have it in one of my totes. Oh. It's like this big Michelin Man suit. I might need it.
It's a big jumpsuit.
I can walk around like the Michelin Man.
I'm surprised nobody up north bought that, but it's like brand new.
I know. I need to go now that if we're going to be hanging out around here, maybe I can list my couple of things I have left on eBay.
So another thing I'd like to get for the RV is a tire monitoring system. Even as I don't know why Tiffen, I'm sure on some they do have it, but this one does not have a tire monitoring system. So you have to check your tire pressures manually. I would like to be able to read that from the driver's seat. So if one of them goes low, you can stop and check it out or get air, do a repair before it blows.
I'm surprised some of the things that Tiffen did not do or did not do well. So
now we're happy with Tiffen. We're not bashing them.
No, but
every manufacturer has their problems.
Yeah, every single one of them.
Tiffen has fewer than most. And here's the good thing that I like about Tiffen too, actually. And we read on this before we decided with them. Is one, their manufacturing plant, they have a campground that you can go and stay at, and you're in line to get your coach serviced. I don't know what they charge there. I don't know if it's free or if they charge. I don't know. I haven't checked into that. But it's close to here. It's in Red Bay, Alabama, over on the Mississippi border, northern Alabama. So 2.5 hour drive, and you can get your coach fixed. So that was a small part of why we bought a house in this area was because we knew we wanted a Tiffin. We knew we wanted a Wayfarer. We just hadn't decided when to get it. And that was a couple years before we did get it. I was like, hey, their manufacturing plant is near where we're looking to possibly buy property. Why not? This is all good things. Why not that brand I like, what they're making with the Wayfarers I like, and the manufacturing plant. And anytime we've called them and asked them questions, they've been very helpful.
Yeah, their customer service is
really top notch for
these days. That's a blessing because there's so many companies that the customer service is horrible. Or it's been farmed out to other countries. Right. And if you can even understand what Peggy's saying, it's great, but it can be a real hassle.
So they took a Christmas break because we've called them and they said, we're on Christmas break and, we're spending time with our families. We'll be up and open on January 2nd. I'm like, okay. So we were trying to plan that, go to Redstone Arsenal, maybe stay a little while and then go over to Red Bay. But we didn't know if all that was the timelines were going to line up. And we didn't want to stay at Redstone too long to have to get over to Red Bay. So it's like, what, let's just go on home. We'll talk to them next week. And then if they can get us in, then we'll camp and we'll go over there and we'll camp. And then maybe we'll coordinate some other adventure on that side, over that way when we're over there. So we decided to bring it home and then we'll set that up.
Because we do have
more definitive dates.
Leveling system.
Yes, that's another thing.
Needs to be looked at.
So the hydraulic leveling system, when it has power to it, it works fine. But the power on the panel, sometimes it's working, sometimes it's not. And I called the Bigfoot leveling guy first before I called Tiffin to see how it's supposed to function. So he could tell me about the wiring. And he did. He said, go in there and hit like you're going to start the coach and turn it off. That's a reset for the system. And that worked once. After that, it stopped working again. So we started going on the Facebook groups. They have actually a Tiffin Wayfarer Facebook groups, a couple of them. And we joined them. And there's a lot of dialogue about these Bigfoot systems and that there's a loose connection. And that's the same thing the guy from Bigfoot told me, is that there's oftentimes a loose connection at the ignition. But from the Tiffin people, the actual purchasers, their experience has been that the disconnect has been behind the panel. They've been pulling the display panel out and tinkering with it and putting it back on, and it started working again. So those are possible fixes. Maybe something I can fix. Maybe something I have to take it in they have to fix. But we'll find out.
Luckily, the whole time we were gone, we stayed in places that were level.
Yeah, they were pretty level, and we knew we had a leveling problem. I was really scared to put them down, and then the next morning you can't get them to retract. And if you can't get them to retract, you can't leave. Like you're stuck. So I was scared to touch it until it's fixed. So
that's definitely something that we do need to get looked at.
Yeah.
So, otherwise, Brett, I don't know if he wants to go in there and start tinkering with stuff. That might be a nightmare.
Not too much. When you start,
then we might have bigger problems if he does that.
You start getting into the digitals and this and that. I can do the basics. I can reset. I can disconnect and reconnect, and I can look for obvious things. A wire missing here or there, whatever. A fuse. I can check a fuse. But if you're getting into the brains of the system, I'm not touching it. They're too sophisticated. Another thing we want to look at is mattresses.
Yeah, the mattress that came with the Tiffin, horrible.
Yeah.
That's one of the things I'm really surprised about, especially for the price they charge, that they come with this horrible 4-inch little nothing mattress.
Yeah, it's about a 4-inch mattress.
It feels like you're sleeping on hardwood.
Now here's the challenge, and looking at the Facebook group, other people are complaining about the beds too. A lot of them.
Everybody
That's probably
does.
the number one complaint.
It is.
It's a Murphy bed, so it tips up. Well, the way they made it is when there's a headboard. So when it tips up, the mattress has to clear the headboard because the headboard doesn't move. If you get a mattress that's too thick, the mattress won't clear the headboard. So what people have done is they've gone in there and removed the headboard and created lifters to lift the headboard up. Because what's supposed to happen is the bed is this long, right? Then you have a headboard that adds about another 8 inches or something, or a foot to the bed. And so when the bed comes down with the headboard, that's the total length of your bed.
It's actually 9 inches, 9 5/8 inches, because I measured it today.
Oh, okay, there you go. So what we need is a thicker mattress, but if you get too thick a mattress, then the bed can't tip up. The mattress will hit the headboard. So I want to remove the headboard, lift it to the height that we're going to need for our new mattress. And then the mattress should be able to clear. When it goes up and down, it should be able to clear the new higher headboard.
I think the biggest thing
That's the
is
plan.
you're going to have a custom mattress made, because I was measuring it and they are some wonky sizes.
Yeah, they're
It
weird.
is very strange. And I was looking online at some of the thickness of the mattresses. There was one company, their mattress was 13 inches thick. I'm like, that must be a pretty awesome mattress, but it was almost, I want to say, somewhere between $1,500 and $2,000. Like, wow, that's
a lot
expensive.
for an RV mattress.
That's super expensive.
Yeah.
But a lot of the different companies, some were 10 inches, 11 inches. They are $1,000 to $2,000 for a lot of those mattresses.
Yeah,
that's pretty crazy. And I think we're definitely going to have to get a custom one made, because I think a regular, or the RV Queens listed, I want to say, are 60 by 74. Neither one of those measurements match.
No.
It's crazy. But we definitely need a mattress, because sleeping that thing is horrible.
Yeah, it's gotten bad. The foam topper we put on there doesn't last. It's already kind of
yeah, because I bought one of those right off the rip because it was so bad. I tried sleeping in that thing,
and that did make it better for a while, but they don't last long.
Yeah, for a while.
So,
it was like a week or two.
We're looking at a better mattress, RV mattress. So if you got some ideas, throw it in the comments. We'll check it out.
Yeah, I was looking at, I forget, there was a Wilderness company, but there's a few. But if anyone has experience with it, let us know which company you liked. So, because that's definitely on the top of the need to get list. Because sleep, I like. I want a good night's sleep because it helps you to have a good day.
Yeah.
When you toss and turn all night and you don't get any sleep, it's not going to be a pretty day the next day.
Sure ain't.
You're going to be grouchy and foggy, and you definitely don't want to go to the gym and work out. You have no energy.
You don't feel like working out.
So that's at the top of my list of things to do. Uh-oh.
Are you ready for this yet?
I get it all week long. These people only get it on Sundays.
Okay, we got our soapbox segment. So what's our soapbox segment for this week going to be? You ask, and I say drivers. Not in general, but a very specific part of driving, especially when you're towing, or if you're in a big vehicle like a camper, or if you're a truck or anything. The entrance ramps. You're on the interstate, you're traveling to your destination, and people apparently don't know how to use an entrance ramp or an exit ramp. But we're talking about the cars that are coming into the highway in front of you. They have that acceleration lane. That's an acceleration lane. That means you're supposed to push the gas, get up in front of me, and move on about your business. What do?
Lollygag.
They wait till the last minute. They're right next to you. You can see clearly their lane's going to die, and I can't get over a lot of times. And if I can, I will. And some people don't, and that's not courteous. Get over, let them in, and then you either drop back behind them or in front of them, whatever. But my problem is the number of people, and it's a large number of people, and I don't get it. They'll wait. They don't even look. They wait until the last second, and now they're out of road. Like within 200 feet, they're out of road, and they have to make a decision to either lock up, and I can't get over. They have to either lock up because they've waited too long. When you're coming onto an entrance ramp, you should be, as soon as you have line of sight, You should be looking to see what that right lane is looking like on that interstate. Not down here looking. Up here you should be looking. Okay, do I need to speed up? Speed on up. If you see I'm a motorhome and I'm towing something, I'm not going to be as fast as you. I'm not going to be able to slow down as fast as you. And if you can see I can't get over, then you either need to prepare for that.
Hit it.
You either need to just
hit that gas,
kind of ease off the gas and fall in behind, or if you're a car, gas it. You have an acceleration lane. That's what it's for. That's what you want to do first, if that's your first option, because you might be hemming up people behind you. If you decide to slow down, there might be 6 other cars behind you, and now you got a jam. You're not supposed to stop on an entrance ramp. You're supposed to keep moving and accelerate. You should be going from 30 to 60 in like 0.5 seconds. You're supposed to speed up and merge into traffic that's already going 70, right?
I always say, oh, Lord, these people are getting on the highway and they have no idea how to drive.
Speed up. Some of them figure it out, but they figure it out at the last second. Like, why are they not planning ahead and come in, get on up? Then it's no big deal. I'm letting you, I want you in front of me. I don't want you to jam up and then, that's my soapbox. People don't know how to use the entrance ramp properly. They don't speed up. It doesn't say yield. It doesn't say stop. You're supposed to accelerate and get in front of if you can't get over. That's my soapbox.
It's pretty simple.
Yeah,
and I think a lot of people should really take extra time and start checking if they're out of blinker fluid. Because I've noticed that most people on the planet must be entirely out of blinker fluid because I see no blinkers.
I think they don't sell blinker fluid down in Florida because that is the worst state for blinkers. If you're south of Orlando and you see a blinker, take a picture because that's a rare sighting. They just go, I don't care. They go 3 and 4, 5 lanes across.
It's not just Florida either.
It's not, but Florida is my experience. I can speak about my experience. The worst drivers I've ever seen, and I've been in Kuwait, I've been in Iraq, I've been in Germany, I've been overseas, and in the States. The worst drivers, bar none, is South Florida.
What about Colombia?
They're rude. They don't use blinkers. They don't know what to do on an entrance or an exit ramp. They have no clue. They just drive until they hit something. They're terrible. And you know what? They really have no excuse. They don't get snow. They don't get ice. And they don't have mountain passes. They don't have steep grades. They have no excuse.
But when it rains,
they just can't drive.
They put on their hazard lights.
Hazard lights are not for driving in the rain.
Is that a whole nother soapbox segment?
It probably is. Another thing is parking lights. People driving with their parking lights, but their headlights are not on. They're for parking. They're parking lights. It's not a trick question. If you're trying to drive, but you don't need headlights, you don't need them for you. It's for other people to see you so they don't hit you. So you run with your driving lights. And if it's raining at all, some of your newer cars have wipers that automatically turn on your lights. Guess what? In Canada, you have to have headlights on all day long, even in the daytime.
Yeah.
It's safety. Turn on your lights. It costs you nothing. It's free. It doesn't use more gas. It doesn't use more battery. They're free. Free. Safety. My goodness. Common sense out the window. Orlando or South, common sense out the window.
Wow.
Not everybody. But I can tell you, towing trailers down there, 99%. Common sense out the window. That's my soapbox.
Well, the further down you go, you have a lot of people that
are from other places.
Like Colombia and this and that. And I know they're like, and I driving, and I'm like, wow, how about you take a driving course when you come over here?
And a lot of the immigrants now that we have in this country, they can't drive because the countries they were in are horrendous. I've seen where they have 8 lanes of traffic and there's no lines on the road. They just drive like this. There's no lines.
I've seen some of that on YouTube when I'm watching. I'm like, how do they do that?
But you know what? Insane. When they come over here, they bring those habits with them.
I sure do.
When you come from other states where you have 8, 9, 10 lanes of traffic, and then you're moving into a rural town and they only have 2 lanes of traffic, don't bring your 10 lanes of traffic madness over here to the 2-lane states. Just learn to drive like the locals do, right?
You're gonna learn today.
Yeah, like when we have to go to South Florida, you're not going. If you're waiting for somebody to let you in, you're gonna be sitting there a long time. She says you got to go Broward County. You got to drive different.
Broward County. You got to get in a whole different mode.
It's a whole different mindset. It's not to be rude. Use your blinker, signal.
You know, take your hat.
You can
turn
use
it
your
backwards,
hands,
grip that wheel, and
go. Sometimes acceleration is your friend. Or you're going to get T-boned in the back, or you're going to get ran up the back, or side swipe from. It's just crazy. You just got to hit those spots that are open and go. You got to go. Get out of the way is what you're doing. You're going to get out of the way. So somebody back there, stupid, ain't paying attention, go hit you or side swipe you. But anyway, my soapbox. I get animated on stupid drivers because there's a ton of them. Man. Anyway, soapbox segment.
Yeah, some of the things you see when you're driving is just like, holy moly, and the near misses and the way people cut off truckers. I mean,
my goodness.
That's a huge thing.
Yeah, it's not just stuff they do in front of me, but other people. I'm like, oh my gosh.
When you're driving a semi truck, there is not the reaction time and all these things. Like, and I am shocked at the way I see some people cut off truckers.
Oh my goodness.
And just get in front of them and go so slow and
cut
all
them off, drive on or
wow.
Let's say traffic's backed up. You'll have cars get over on the shoulder to try to get all the way past everybody. That's rude. I see people that the truckers will oftentimes try to block them from doing that. The reason they're doing that is not to be a butt, but it's to try to keep. It's already congested. You racing up the side of the shoulder is just going to make it worse for everybody. Stay back there, wait your turn, and everybody will get safely through. If you were concerned about, traffic, then maybe you should have left sooner. But, poor planning on your part does not constitute an emergency on my part.
And there's a lot more truckers on the roads
these
days.
A lot more truckers.
You have a lot of goods going back and forth, everybody ordering stuff.
Amazon, baby, stuff. All them trucks.
So there's just a lot going on. So people really should pay attention and be more courteous. And I know someone made the comment, if you are going to another country, you should learn the rules. I know when I visited Germany, I got a permit to drive over there. I read the rules and I hopped on the Autobahn and followed, because they drive differently. You use the left lane there to pass. You don't hang out in the left lane and keep on driving. It's strictly a passing lane.
Yeah. Now that's supposed to be this way here too, but it's not enforced. I'll tell you, in Germany, if you're in that left lane, you're going to get ran over by a Lamborghini.
I know.
They're going about 300 miles an hour faster than you are.
I was wishing when I was on the Autobahn that I had a nice Lambo.
You can get a ticket real quick if you're hanging in that left lane and you're going 70 miles an hour. You can get ran over. But anyway.
But yeah, it's important to learn those things. I mean, you should want to keep everybody safe, including yourself.
Another big difference, too, overseas, if you've been overseas, the yellow light comes on before the green light. It's a little different. In the States, it's green, then it turns yellow, which means prepare to stop, right? Then it turns red. Overseas, is
that what yellow meant? I thought it meant hurry up. It's going to turn red.
That's what it means in Europe. If you go over there, it's yellow, green. Because you'll see cars stopped at a traffic light. It's red, right? Everybody's stopped. Well, your people are stopped. The other people are going. So you're stopped. The light will turn yellow first. That means prepare to go, which is weird to me. That means what? Put your foot on the gas and ready to go? Grab first gear? Then it turns green. It's like, go. So it's a little different, So get used to the way they drive where you live, whether it's a state to state, because every state's a little different. Like Northerners, they know how to slow down and drive in the snow, or else they're going to be in the ditch, right? Southerners, not so used to it. Here in Tennessee, they don't get a lot of snow, so I don't know what really to expect. They drive pretty good here as far as because windy, hilly roads we have here. I haven't seen it in the snow and ice yet, but I would suspect they'll slow down. If they don't, I guess I'll be winching some of them out. I got a winch on the Jeep, so I can pull them out of the ditch. But we'll see. We'll see how that goes. Even up in Alaska, where they're used to it, they get into summer driving mode, and then when winter starts, it takes about 2 weeks to gear back down to you know. You don't have that good grip on your tires anymore. You're not going to stop when you hit the brake. The brake is not your friend. What you do is you let off the gas, and if you're in a stick, you can downshift. That's how you slow down on ice. You hit that brake and brake traction, you're going to speed up and lose control. So the brake is not your friend on black ice or any kind of ice. The brake's not your friend. So
yeah, I would never want to be on a motorcycle on I-95 near Fort Lauderdale. There's no way.
You're just asking for it.
I would never. I don't think
asking for it.
I think the whole time growing up down there, I might have been on a motorcycle once or twice. It's too scary. No, thank you. People drive too crazy down there. 95 is nuts.
And I think they drive pretty normal here. They're not bad. I haven't seen them yet in snow, and I'll let you know when I do. But they're very courteous here. They let you out. They're not trying to jump line. They're not trying to cut you off. They use blinkers. Now, there's exceptions to that, but by and far and large, 95% of them are doing what they're supposed to be doing. They're just, they're courteous. They're very friendly here. I just love it here. This is how it's supposed to be everywhere.
That's good.
Yeah. We'll see what it's like when they, start going a little too fast on, man, here I can see it's unforgiving. Like out by Ruby Falls, you climb that big steep hill. If you make a mistake on some of these windy roads, you're not going to get a second chance. Some of them have guardrails, some of them don't, and it just goes straight down. You're going to roll a few times and probably explode when you hit the bottom. They got some gnarly roads here, and you have to drive to the conditions of the road and to the conditions of your experience and what your vehicle can do on that surface and on that, on that terrain. So a Jeep can't pass nobody going up a hill. I can tell you that.
Nope.
So you get in that right lane, you drop a gear, and you just ride it out. You're not going to pass nobody in a Jeep going up a hill, especially if you're towing anything. It doesn't matter what you're towing.
It almost feels like you're going backwards sometimes.
Jeeps are not bet for passing or for power or anything like that. They're just, 4 good wheels on the road. That's all you got. And it's a small, lightweight vehicle.
They're meant for duckies.
Yeah, that's it. Ducky. Rubber duckies. That's it. They're very versatile vehicles. I like them, but they're very lightweight. And they're not great on. Actually, Jeeps do pretty good in snow if you know how to drive in the snow.
I don't. I know nothing about snow.
You do have to know how to drive in the snow. So.
I don't know about all that.
What else you got there, Madam Mayor, before we go into mail?
You got that. Question.
Yeah.
I think that's the only question I really got from anybody.
So many of you want to know, and we'd like to know too, actually.
Right.
It's
a good question.
Yeah, this is about the Trespass 5 court. What's going on with that?
Someone asking if there's been any updates, and still nothing. We haven't heard anything else. We're still waiting, just like y'all, to find out what's going on with that.
We are aware that the thumbnail suit got dropped, and we suspect because the Trespass 5 case really has no bite to it whatsoever. It doesn't have any substance to it, even less than the thumbnail suit did, I think. So I would suspect it will also be dismissed, but it has not been dismissed yet. We have no further updates on it yet. When we know, we'll let you know. And
or if you know, you can let us know.
Or if you know, let us know. Usually she'll hear from George. Hey, have you heard? No. What? So yeah, that's it on that. No updates on the Trespass 5/6, I guess, if you include the cop.
No, because he's not part of it in that aspect.
Well, he should be part of it. He's listed on it.
Well, those are two different things.
Yeah, I guess.
Trespass 5 is a label.
Yeah, I know. Well, we got mail.
I'm glad I wasn't delivering any packages today. It was nasty out. Nasty. Oh, now your door's falling off.
My door fell off.
It's like a real postal Jeep. There's parts falling off.
Yeah. And it's not even an LLV.
And if you know, you know now.
You know?
Yeah.
You know no. You know no. I'll fix that later. Door fell off.
There's another project for you. Fix that later.
So we got a card, a Christmas card from
Christine Roman Noodles.
Christine Roman Noodles.
That was so sweet to get a card.
We miss you guys. I'll read it to you. It says, Dear Therese and Brett, sending you warm wishes for a bright and wonderful Christmas. All my love and God's blessings. Always, Christine. Thank you, Christine. We appreciate you. We miss you.
We hope you had a Merry Christmas.
Yep.
We miss all the ladies.
Glad you got home safely. We had heard you got home before we left. That's
She
good.
spoiled us rotten with some delicious lasagna and cannolis, and she's just such a blessing to be around. We had so much fun seeing all the ladies when we were there.
And you know, she's a perfect example. She could live in Tennessee and she would blend right in because she's so out of the way nice.
She is.
She is out of the way nice.
She's just a blessing.
Super person.
Absolute blessing.
And she lives in Florida. Can you believe it?
So
she's the exception to the rule.
So we did have so much fun with everybody. I loved getting hugs from everybody, and Aunt Patty and Gina and Debbie and who else? Jessica and Jenny and Deanna and George and Deborah. Oh, I miss everybody so much already.
Okay. And this is our only other piece of mail. But Jason, we want to thank you for this.
I love this. Thank you so much.
Love you to
Jason.
the North Pole and back. And he bought this from, if you've heard of, it's another YouTuber. She has a clothing line. And she does a clothing line apparel called Alaskan Apparel.
Yeah, I just want to show y'all. Like, look at these. The handles are leather. I'm just excited about this bag. Look how big it is.
Yeah, it's well made too.
Yep. It's pretty big.
We'll probably use this mostly
in here.
in Aldi's where you have to take your own bag into the store. This will come in handy.
That's probably not what I'm going to use it for, just so you know.
Oh, no.
And there's a nice pocket inside where you can put stuff. I absolutely love it. It's huge. Brett's like, Jason must know how much you love bags. Jason is so thoughtful.
Yep.
He is just one of the huge blessings for us this year. I'm so glad we got to meet him and his family.
He sent us so much stuff, too. If you look up here, the Madam Mayor plate and also the rock right there.
Yeah, he's so thoughtful. He's so sweet. What a wonderful friend he is. I'm so glad we got to meet him and we're able to keep in touch. I just wish sometimes that there was like a little portal, like Scotty beam me up because I want to go give hugs to people. So I'd love to give a big hug to Jason. We miss you.
Now, we had hoped to run into Summers in Alaska while we were up there, but they're busy people, and
they are very busy.
They're a big
people.
channel. They're on the verge of what Jeremy Hales has going on. They're in the 400, 500 plus subscriber range, so they're very busy. And I know her husband works up on the slope, and then she has a clothing apparel, and they raise kids there in North Pole, Alaska. But we are familiar with their channel, and I just wanted to pass along their information.
Yeah, if you want to check them out.
If there's something you want to check out, there's their website. They sell clothing.
I was looking online, and she has a beanie cap that you can put your bun through the top. I said, I need to get one of those. It's a messy bun beanie cap, because I always say I need hats where I can put my bun through, but they've got a beanie cap I definitely need to get.
And it says here, please leave a review and tag us on Instagram for a chance to get featured on Alaskan Apparel. So this is their little card that they sent.
Yeah, super nice. They are a really nice family from what I've heard of the people who have gotten a chance to meet with them. They are super nice.
Yep. So we will reach out to them with the review, and hopefully we'll get a response back.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to order some other stuff too.
It's always nice to collaborate with other YouTubers.
Yep. Summers in Alaska. Right. Check them out, or go online at AlaskanApparel.com and check out what items they have. Mm-hmm. Super nice. I love it.
Yeah.
Lake hair don't care ball cap. Exactly.
Yeah.
There was another one I saw.
I like that. Lake hair don't care.
Jeep hair don't care. When we were in Buc-ee's, I saw that.
Oh yeah.
Because we stopped in Buc-ee's on our way back as well.
Right.
And my hair was like this big dreadlock mess from when we were out in the rain. If I leave it down, it gets horrible when it's windy and rainy. I look like a mess.
I like it. I like a mess. Mess is good.
But yeah, definitely need caps that your hair can go through for sure.
I want to point out something too up on the mantle there, right there. It says the Granger family. You may not be able to read it, but what it is, this is a loom. It's kind of a mock loom. It's, a small one. I bought that in Turkey when I was stationed in Turkey in 1986, 87. And it was my second duty station, and I bought that in Turkey and gave that to my parents. But my stepmom, my dad has passed away. My stepmom now is downsizing a lot of things, and she asked me if I wanted to keep this. I said, yeah, I'll take it. So this thing is really old. It's been around. What are we at? 20? We're almost 2025, so that's 25 plus another 14 years. So this thing's pretty old.
Do you need your calculator?
Yeah, almost. So I just wanted to kind of say, that thing's pretty cool. I just wanted to point that out. It's really old, and it's from Turkey. It was made in Turkey.
It's funny when you get older and your parents are getting rid of stuff, you may be getting back some of the gifts you once gave to them.
That's okay. It keeps it in the family.
I did that when I was cleaning out. I was asking my son if he wanted all these things that I had kept from when he was in school. He's like, no, I don't want any of that. And I'm like, well, why have I been dragging this around your whole life here? And he's like, I don't know. You can throw it in the trash for all I care. So it was kind of funny.
Yeah.
Anything else? Is that it?
So. Yeah. Once in a while, we'll put new things up here. Let's see where. Right there. We bought a hat there at Eglin Air Force Base. I liked it and liked the colors. It says Retired Army.
Yep.
So I thought that was pretty cool. That's all.
Yep. I have to wait to get a special ball cap that I can put my hair through. I know George had given me that one red hat.
Sun hat.
That's a sun hat. Yeah. I still have it, but I use it when I'm out in the sun that I can put my ponytail through the back. But they do make ones that you can wear a bun that goes around the top too. But it's important when you got all this hair, you got to have special hats.
I'm looking forward to this summer, really enjoying the lake. I think we only got out there 1 or 2 times, but we hope to get out there with the pontoon boat, take the kayaks and the jet ski all out there. And there's I think when the water's down, and I believe the Wilburns are in the chat, and they could clarify some of this. Hi, Wilburns, by the way. I think if the Tim Ford water is down, you're able to go in the caverns with the kayak. There are some caverns you can paddle through, and it goes through the other side. I've seen it online, but I think it's a little ways from us, but it's on the same lake, so we just have to.
That would be fun.
That's something I want to check out for sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
They got spring water, 2 waterfalls on this lake. It's an amazing lake. But in the wintertime, they let the water, that's TVA, Tennessee Valley Authority, they're in charge of this lake. They let the water go down on purpose. So when the spring rains come, it doesn't flood. That's what I was told. So right now you'll see a lot of private docks that are sitting on the bottom of the lake. Some of them are just sitting on the ground. I guess you can do maintenance on them if you need to.
Yep. They said when the water's down, you can go in the caves.
Yeah. So we got to do that this winter, toward the end of winter. I don't want to go out there when it's freezing, but before they fill the lake up with water, we need to go check that out.
Yeah, definitely. Put that on the list.
On the list.
But yeah, it's been a super fun day. I love that we got to go to church today. it helps prepare you for the week.
It's kind of nice being home too.
It is.
Yeah.
It is. It's not, but in a couple of weeks we'll probably be antsy to get out of here again.
Go take off. Yeah.
But we'll see what our next adventure is. We need to start planning for what we want to do this year and get a few flexible ideas down. And, I think everybody should take a little time just to look back at their year and review what they've done and think ahead of what you want to do and have some goals for yourself.
Have some personal goals.
They don't have to be resolutions or whatever. Some people are like, I'm not doing that, but you should at least have goals and things you want to do and be flexible and don't beat yourself up if you don't hit all these goals on the mark.
Right.
That's the worst thing you can do is beat yourself up when you've had what you deem to be a failure, when you do things wrong. What lessons can you learn from that so you don't do it next time?
That's the biggest thing. Is self-improvement.
Learn from your mistakes, from your failures. That's what all the successful people do. I mean, everybody fails at things. What'd you learn from it? That's what's important.
Yeah.
So don't beat yourself up about things. Do your best. And if you have a bad day, guess what? Tomorrow's a new day. So that's all you do. But it was really fun getting to chat with everybody. And I hope everybody has a safe new year. So whatever you're doing, make sure you're not out there drinking and driving or doing things like that. Stay safe. Have fun with family and friends. And I hope everybody had a Merry Christmas and got to spend time with their family and friends. We look forward to what the new year brings. Hopefully there'll be a lot less negativity and fun stuff and good adventures and good friends.
Yeah. Sounds good.
Sounds good. You got anything to add to that?
I don't. I think we covered everything in our notes.
All right. Well, super fun talking to everybody.
Did you have any questions there in the chat at all? I can't really see way over there.
I don't see any. And again, I'd like to thank our members.
Yeah.
I know this week we were in the Buc-ee's with our members.
Oh yeah, Buc-ee's.
Just messing around in there, having fun. I don't know what we'll do this week. It's always a surprise. And I don't know if we'll continue memberships throughout the whole year. I guess we'll have to discuss that more. I don't know if a lot of people are interested so much in the memberships or what direction we should go with that. But, if anybody would like to comment about that, drop us a line and what you think about it. Oh, Mark says, Happy New Year, everyone.
Oh, wow. Thank you.
Thank you, Mark.
Appreciate that.
It's nice
it's
to
really nice.
be able to share that with everybody. Yep. Spread the love, be positive, try to help people out as much as you can.
Yeah, appreciate that a lot. And we're looking at, we don't know what we're doing with the Otter Creek meetings and the drama affiliated with Otter Creek. We've been looking at some of the numbers with that stuff, and it doesn't really help. Doesn't help the base of the channel.
So I don't know if we'll stick with covering that at all, or just leave that alone.
We just don't know.
Have you heard from Lloyd? Someone asked.
Not since we last went live. I haven't heard from him. No,
but
I'll reach out to him between now and the next Sunday.
I was just going to say that. Definitely send him some well wishes and let him know that everybody's asking about him. But we definitely have been talking about what we might do this year different on the channel and whether we should be keeping Otter Creek on any of our stuff at all. So again, if you guys have any input about that, feel free to send us an email at madammayersadventures@gmail.com, or you can send us or comment in the thread and let us know what you think about memberships, what you think about the Otter Creek stuff, maybe what you would like to see this year. Any of those things. We love your ideas.
If you have any suggestions, send them to us.
I love getting the chance to talk to people. I know I get emails and I respond to them as soon as I can. Sorry if it's not always in the most timely fashion. It just depends on how much stuff I got going on, but I do read them. And I appreciate everybody's stories and all that good stuff.
Yeah.
Anything else? Well, I guess
think so.
We'll let y'all go. Thank you so much for spending this time with us. We appreciate all of you. We thank all our subscribers, all of our members. Don't forget to always check to see if you're still subscribed, because YouTube does like to take people off. So if you're not getting your notifications, sometimes even if you are subscribed, you need to unsubscribe, resubscribe, hit the notification bell for all to make sure you know when we're on. And
it's not the number of subscribers that makes a channel successful. It's the quality of subscribers. So we appreciate the quality of people that we have on our channel. And we really appreciate that.
Yep. Thanks for being positive, everybody, and uplifting. And remember to take that throughout your day and spread some of God's love to everybody. We all need prayers and love. So keep praying for all of us, for Jeremy and George, and for all things to resolve for everybody, so everybody can go on into the new year with positivity.
Yep.
We appreciate it, and we love you guys so much.
Yep. You guys take care. Be safe. We'll see you next week.
Oh, would that be next year?
Next year.
Like, see you next year.
Next year.
All right. We love y'all.